Hi, this is the Bratz Boyz Club, and I am Jesse, and today I'm going to introduce you to another one of my Bratz Boys. However, I am very happy to introduce you to this Bratz Boy in particular because he belongs to a collectioner series that I am such a fan about. It was a collectioner series that I used to bump into a lot back in the day, a few years ago, and they were all over the place. They were in auction websites, they were in sellers' websites, they were everywhere, and their collectible price was yet not that bad. Um, but fast forward to now, and you can hardly find them anywhere, even at auction websites. And the couple here and there that you bump into, they're quite pricey, and it's definitely a challenge, either to find them or to be able to afford them. Um, the one thing that I really uh, think of them as being like a major problem right now is some of them have some oddities to them, to their, either their bodies or their clothing or something that looks weird, out of place. Of course, the boxes are not perfect, so you're going to run into boxes that look like they're not, in perfect condition. There's some changes. Um, However, if you can get your hands on any one of these, you are very lucky. First of all, because they're very rare. They're hard to come by. And then second, the price is almost they're unreachable. I had to make some critical adjustments to my budget to be able to get my hands on two of these in particular. Um, and of course, so now to the Bratz boy in question, and his name is Cameron. And Cameron is the one of the three Bratz boys for the 2005 Pretty and Punk series or collection, that came out in 2005, of course. And he's one of the three. It's Cameron, Dylan, and Aiden for the Pretty and Punk series or collection. Uh, what I really love about this particular series or collection is not just the fact that we're looking at a totally different uh, take on the Bratz Boys. It's also the fact that the boxes are very unique. They're very interesting. Uh, they they go all out on making the boxes look totally different. You still have the same shape that you would on some of the other Bratz Boys boxes, but the design and the art on it, it's totally different. If you can tell, hopefully with a light, there is like a little design here on the plastic that looks like the flag, like the Europe. I think it's European flag. There's like a flag design on the plastic of the cover of the plastic of the box of the Bratz boy. So they completely MGA completely went all out with this collection. They literally just gave it their all. Not to mention, the handle is also very unique, of course, because this is the early 2000s. So let's not forget that the handle, of course, is going to be very different, very special, very perfect, and very durable. It's one of those that just looks like it's going to be there forever, which it has been. I mean, look at this one, for example. Um, so that's one reason why I really love these. The art on the box is spectacular. It's amazing. Um, Everything is just so perfect, so different. It's not the same as your ordinary Bratz boy in its box. Everything is just a thousand times better. Um, and another thing that I really love, of course, and this goes for all of my really older Bratz boys from the early 2000s, is the fact that, of course, just like all the others, these have a bunch of accessories. There's a bunch of accessories here, and that is just awesome. I love that. I love having a lot to work with. I love watching how much the Bratz Boy has. And of course, this one in particular actually doesn't only have accessories for the Bratz Boy, and of course, the stuff that he's wearing, he's got his little bag, he's got a little suitcase, but he also, for the first time, I'm thinking that's the first time, I'm not really sure, the Bratz Boy has a pet. And I believe all of the Bratz girls and the Bratz boys in this specific line, series, or collection from the Pretty and Punks, or Pretty and Punk collection, they all have a pet, I think. I'm not really sure. So don't quote me on that. But it looks like they might all have a pet. And for example, this one in particular is Nigel, and it's a pet cat. So that's another thing that I find that's really cute from this series or collection in particular. The fact that you don't only get a Bratz Boy, but you get a Bratz Boy with a lot of stuff that he's either wearing or holding on to. And he's got, of course, a bunch of accessories. And then on top of that, he's got a pet. So I could just imagine how much this was at retail back in the day, back in 2005. It's definitely nothing in comparison to what it is now as a collectible, especially in this condition. However, I'm going to show you an example of why I feel that it's kind of scary, even for me, when I purchase these guys online, and why I'm still thinking about what's going on with it, and why it looks a little bit different than what it should or what others look like. But when you purchase items like these, sometimes you can't help but question why they look a certain way, or why they come in with something different than you would have noticed. And this one in particular is a great example of that, because even before I purchased him, and this is the reason why I was a little bit skeptical about purchasing him, and I bumped into him a couple of times in the website that I'm currently using for my purchases for collectible Bratz Boyz dolls. And I saw that he has a tan neck. His hands are, of course, the same color as his face and his head, but his neck is tan. And that kept me at bay for a few weeks. And I'm still not very comfortable with the fact that his neck is, tan. And let me get him closer so you can see that. I bumped into a description of this particular Bratz Boy in that webpage by the seller that I hadn't bumped into before. That talks a little bit about why the Bratz Boy's neck is supposedly tan. It states that the Bratz Boy spend most of its time somewhere where it was exposed to a little bit of sunlight or something like that, according to what I'm hearing. And the neck was damaged by the sunlight. What I'm wondering is why was the rest of the Bratz Boy not damaged as well? And the plastic does not look tan all over instead of just the neck. So these are the tiny little issues that you encounter when you're purchasing these off of auction websites or off of sellers' websites, and that sometimes you buy them and you think, well, some of these look different, and why does it look like that? Why does it have that kind of neck? Even though you could see that the doll is actually very well, connected to the box from behind. So anybody actually trying to pull the doll out to switch, the bodies or the chest of it would be, I would think, impossible, because you would have to reconnect all of that and put it back together, which I would assume is impossible. Is not possible, but then again, how do I know? I don't know any of that. However, like I said, these will always arrive with some kind of oddity or some kind of damage. Like another thing about this one in particular, which is what makes me more suspicious about that tan neck that doesn't really match the rest of the body, is the fact that the box, when it arrived, looked like it had been opened forcefully. The lid that is usually situated inside of the top of the box, and I know this because all of the boxes I have this usually inside of the box. See, you can tell it's out. It's out. It's been opened. It's actually out here, just there, like it was forced out. It was placed back correctly, and then of course I had to add a little bit of tape over here to make sure this was closed, because this was also torn up a little bit and pulled out. So it looked like the box had been pulled out and opened forcefully. However, like I keep saying, I really don't know what happened. I can't really prove anything. I can't really be sure of anything of if he was pulled out and his chest was switched, and that's why his neck looks different. I don't know if the body parts of one can be pulled out and placed, for the body parts of another. I just know that you can do that, I believe, with the feet, with the shoes. I don't really know much about like the rest of the body. I think the head you could, but then again, the hands are the same color as the face and the head. So I really don't know what happened here. Either way, I really needed this one. I really needed Cameron from the Pretty and Punk Collectioner series of 2005. So I took the opportunity that I had at hand to buy them, to buy him, to purchase him. And so here he is, in all of his glory. And regardless of whether he looks like he's got a tan neck and a tan chest, and everything else is, like the same color of his face or head, he's here. And I'm very happy, very excited for, to be able to have him as part of my ever-growing collection of Bratz Boyz. And I was just so excited when the box arrived, and I was, and I opened the box and I was able to see what he looked like in person. It's been so many years of me just, seeing the Cameron from the Pretty and Punk series collection online, on the internet, and I just was not ever able to own one. So I'm very excited, very thrilled to own one of these. And I couldn't believe that I was able to have him as part of the collection. And I was actually hoping I would be able to find the other two. And fortunately, I was able to get my hands on one more, which was as well very pricey. This one actually was a little bit less than the other one. And the price went down, I would say, about $40 for this one, at the seller's webpage that I frequently use now for my Bratz Boyz collector's dolls that I'm purchasing. So I was really excited to close that sale on this one, because I was actually saving about $40. The first time it showed up, the price was a little bit higher than I would like. But then it was supposedly sold off, and then it came back on the page, and then it was $40 less, so I was able to get my hands on him. And I was very excited that he was going to finally be part of my collection, and I was finally going to be able to own one of these Pretty and Punk Bratz Boyz. Especially Cameron, because I've always had a thing for Cameron. Either all of the three, I love all of them so much, but this one in particular is a very, very sexy one. He just looks amazing. Everything about him screams awesome, epic. Everything is very trendy, very 2005, and so I just jumped at the opportunity to be able to get him, to have him. And I could not believe it. I could not believe when he arrived. I could not believe that I finally got my hands on him. and that after all these years I was going to have one of these guys as part of my Bratz Boyz collection, and as I keep repeating over and over again. Yes, so this was another one of my additions, and I am very happy, very excited of having him, because he is one of a very few number. At least I haven't seen many more, and if I ever do, I'm going to try to get my hands on another one once again, just because I like to keep, well, not all of them, but just keep buying as many copies that I can of the really good ones, like this one. But yes, so this is the 2005 Pretty and Punk Cameron from the Pretty and Punk series or collection, Bratz Boyz from 2005, and I'm very thrilled to have added him to my collection. I'm very happy. I couldn't hardly wait to get him. When he arrived, I was so crazy about him, because like I said, the box is just amazing. I mean, take a look at this. This is just perfect. This and everything else about him is just perfect. It's perfect, and I just love it. And I mean, everything screams quality. MGA back in the day just did their best to be able to, bring to the shelves an item that everybody was going to love. And I absolutely love this Pretty and Punk Cameron from the 2005 collection of the Bratz Boyz. But yeah, everything is quality. The art on the box, the design on the box. You can see the flag design here on the plastic of the box from all around the box. And then, of course, the handle. It is very, very durable, very, very, very perfect, very unique, very special. It's a very neat looking box. Not only is the box perfect, but the doll itself is perfect. He is amazing. Everything about this, box is, it just screams expensive to me, and the doll as well. I can't imagine what this was worth at retail. It must have been a little bit more than your ordinary Bratz Boy. But it cannot compare to what you have to spend on these right now, especially the amount of money I had to drop for this one in particular. Either way, I'm very happy that I did, and I'm very happy that I added him to my collection. And so this was the video for the 2005 Pretty and Punk Bratz Boy Cameron. And stay tuned for my next video, where I'm going to be introducing you to his buddy from the same Pretty and Punk line of Bratz Boyz. I will not say the name because it's going to be a surprise. I'm still trying to get my hands on all three, but unfortunately I was only able to get my hands on both this one and his little friend. And so that concludes my video. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope we see you there on the next video. Thanks.